I very often get emails or Discord messages or letters sent to my house with a USB stick attached that will say something along these lines. Hey Harstem, I just played a super epic game and I bet your audience would get a kick out of watching that game. Now, usually I don't actually watch those games, or if I do and I try to make a video about it, and the game ends up not being so interesting. Today, however, I decided let's actually do one and see once and for all if it is worth it checking out these emails. So basically we're figuring out, is my audience worthless or are they okay? So we're popping into the replay here between Guitar King and Dain Tzu. Now, one of the things that I noticed as well, that I very often do end up watching the replay, even if I don't want to make a video about it, is that the person that submits it always wins. Epic things are only really epic if you're on the winning side, is what it feels like. And that kind of makes sense. I can't remember the last time I had a German guy going, you remember the Treaty of Versailles? That was so epic when they made us sign that. Or, D-Day? Yeah, I love Normandy. That was super epic. It just doesn't happen so often. People only find the wins very epic or cool. And it's the same with this game. Guitar King sent it in to me. And he said, I thought this was a really cool game. I feel like this would be cool, for a video. I feel like this is content. So we already know pretty much immediately that Guitar King is going to win this game in some epic twist. Like this is kind of the build up, these emails are almost like a romantic comedy often. It's where you know exactly what's gonna happen. Like there's gonna be a peak just before the end, and then there will be a very happy ending after where the couple gets kids, and just before where everything comes together, there is this massive downfall where he accidentally sent a text to his ex-girlfriend. We just don't know which ex-girlfriend Guitar King is going to send a text to, and his new girlfriend is gonna find out. We know the formula. What we don't know is how this is all gonna get filled in. Like, is it gonna be I don't know. Is the main character gonna be an insurance man, or is he gonna be a surf instructor? That's all that we're gonna find out right now. And this starts with a very standard PVZ in which Guitar King so far hasn't really scouted very much. He's seen that this is a pool first, I think. But I'm not sure if he's realized that it's a pool first. I think he has. He's also playing an awful build. His first adept is extremely late. I'm not sure why. That doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense to me, at least. But so far, decent game. I'm liking it. The Guitar King, I believe, is like 4.7, 4.8k MMR. So high-ish level players. Stargate in the wall, or well, kind of behind the wall here. Not a huge fan of that. Get an Adept Shade. Speed is about to finish up here for the Zerg player as well. As the epicness is truly about to kick off, we have our first fight. And fights are always epic, as we know. I'm a huge fan of fights. Huge fan. As a kid, which is kind of weird, I didn't actually used to like action scenes as much. I always thought that action scenes were kind of boring. Like I didn't like action movies, but now, for whatever reason, I just appreciate them more. I don't know what it takes for me to appreciate a good action movie, but I noticed that I like it more. And it's like, oh, that's some nice camera work, or oh, this is a neat choreography. And I feel like as a kid, I just wasn't so impressed by two adults fighting. Like I see this in the schoolyard every day, and that looks way more realistic. But now, you can appreciate the little things in life. A fast layer, setting up for some epic push, I'm sure. Once this finishes up. Fast spores as well. This almost feels like a Mio Maika-esque build, doesn't it? Like no queens, low drone count, fast speed with a pool first. The only thing that's really missing here is a Hydralisk then, and we're good to go. Oracle's gonna pop forward. It's not very realistic though to get a Hydra then if you're mining off of a single gas. Also missing his inject. I feel like Guitar King's build here is much better than his opponent's. Like this is an actual build order, and Dain Tzu is not really playing an actual build order so far, or at least not a build order that I'm familiar with, or anyone at the high level is very familiar with. Gonna surround these adepts, gonna force some energy away out of this Oracle. This is not a good trade, by the way, trading energy for links. Well, it's a good trade if you're a Protoss, not a good trade if you're the Zerg. That is exactly what you want. Like, oh, I can't believe I wasted this Oracle's energy by sacrificing 6 drones into him. Oh, that's a great move. That's really epic. Third Oracle, is that? Yeah, third Oracle on the way. So I'm going to play triple Oracle, I guess into Forged Twilight, which is pretty standard. We do have a Hydra then, as well as 3 more gases on the way. It's going to go up to 4 total. Does kind of have the drone count to go for some type of weird 2-base all-in. I don't really think this was a great build. I really don't think so. This Oracle almost dies, but stays alive. Should really deactivate, yeah. Go away. Third Oracle finishes Forged Twilight really late as well, by the way. All of this is just fairly late. I'm not sure if that had to do with the early game being so wonky, but Forged Twilight of a triple Oracle opener just now finishing. I want to say that's like 20-25 seconds too late. You can really start that so much earlier. I don't really appreciate the way that Guitar King has done this so far. Now he's taking out Overlords. To me, this just looks like a pretty standard lower level game, and then lower level being not the highest level, which anything compared to the highest level would be considered a lower level, I guess. So this is a lower level game. I'm not trying to be mean. This is not the goal of it. I'm trying to figure out whether my audience knows what entertainment is or not. This is a bit of a meta episode. It's not really an episode. It's just a meta investigation. We're investigating whether you guys at home are knowledgeable or not. And Guitar King really is carrying your torch here. He's the guy in charge. You know, if this replay is balls, I'm never reading emails again. It's over. People have no clue what is entertaining in that case. But if this actually ends up being an epic game, and especially if Guitar King ends up losing, maybe these emails are worth it. We could call it Harstem's emails, although I do like alliteration. Don't really have a good alliteration with an M. Machines, mails. Or letters. Something with an L maybe. But I also don't have a name with an L. No, it is what it is. You guys, I'm sure, can think of some good alliteration that has to do with letters. 2 cannons going down, 3 cannons going down, 6 cannons going down. It seems almost like an overreaction, if it wasn't for the fact that his opponent is Hydra landing him on 52 drones. Not sure about sentries. I actually much prefer getting higher Stalker counts against Hydra all-ins, just because you can always go back to batteries in that case, and the sentries really are just a one-time thing. You can use them once and then that was the money that you just wasted. His supply is also surprisingly low. Or well, not surprisingly maybe, but it is very low. And that's because he just invested so much in cannons and not in actual units. So force fields here need to be good. That was okay. Use 2 force fields for what only should require 1. Now the Zerg actually micros this quite well. I think that's definitely a good move. Just kind of trying to run away with these Hydras. Don't run up this ramp again, please. Just don't do that. Thank you, good sir. Dyne 2, by the way, behind this has been droning up a bit, and Guitar King completely stopped the overall worker production. We don't have a 4th base yet. We now are going to get an Evo chamber, which is fairly late. Supply-wise, okay for Dyne 2. How many gateways do we have for Guitar King? He's on 6, but he's managing to float above 800 minerals most of the time. He starts a 4th base, despite his opponent not having a 4th yet. Really think there should be some scouting before all of this, where we get anything of this sort. Like, I would say get 6 gases, if anything, before the 4th base, right? Yeah, try to tech into Storm, maybe get some Immortals out as well. Get that charge kicking off, as once again we're going to have a rotation. And these cannons, don't forget, are getting worse the higher the supply gets. So obviously if you have 4 cannons against 10 Hydras, that's great. But if you have 4 cannons against 35 Hydras, it's not quite as great anymore. Somehow, some way, this rotation works as well. Gonna have a bit of a fight over here. No Guardian Shield. Okay, Guardian Shield now. Battery gets sniped. Still believe that these Hydras have absolutely no business being here. Yeah, this was a good attempt at a rotation, but he just doesn't have enough units. So even if you kind of manage to get in a good spot, you're not in a good spot because your units are balls. +1 did start. I think I saw a Lurker then. Yeah, Lurker then. There's no Hive yet though, so this is just going to be Lurkers with 8 range. It's not my favorite unit. Well, it's one of my favorite units to play against, but not one of my favorite units to build, as yeah, they're just not very powerful in my mind. Gonna get a blink in forward. Kill on that Overlord as well. Love to see it. The 4th base is up. Don't forget that he built this 4th base and hasn't used it yet. Well, if he would have just taken the 6 gases, we could have been using that for a very long time already. I mean, it's also not like he's in desperate need of money right now. If anything, we need some more gateways, some more production, because we're floating 2k minerals. So far, this just... I mean, it's a game, that's for sure. This is a game. It's a game that's being played. This is one of the games of all time. Still just on 4 gas, which makes no sense to me. Like, the amount of minerals that we have is plenty. No worker production either, which I guess is not really necessary if you're not planning on taking gases. Now goes up to 6 gas. Warps in more stalkers, which is also bad. Stalkers are one of the worst units to build, but you have to build them if you want to be somewhat aggressive. But having this many stalkers is just not smart. You want to get more zealots so you can invest your gas into units that actually deal damage. Things like Templar, things like Archons. All of that good jazz. Links here moving around. We're gonna get a couple of hits in. No batteries or cannons here though. That's the issue as well. When you have so many cannons here, this is such an obvious weak base that you probably need to do all of your pushes from this side. Because the moment you push from a certain side, it means that that side is somewhat protected. Just, you know, by you being aggressive from there. We also have a Lurker attack coming here on the left. Not even sure if this is going to be enough cannons. Well, it's definitely not going to be enough cannons. Stasis wards, however, could help. I'm not sure if these will double trigger. Sometimes if you trigger one stasis and the other stasis is in range, you can, like, they get double triggered, which is always really sad. It's like a chain reaction of triggers. Got a, oh my god, that was a blink. Truly epic blink. Holy cow, that was an epic blink. Just lost all of his stalkers. Another blink forward. Another one. You know what the thing is with these blinks? Is that you usually want to use blink to keep your stalkers alive. Or to get more, like a better concave, basically. So more stalkers shoot. Here he actually did the opposite. So he blinks in so that all the lurkers are now capable of shooting at the same time. So he's actually helping his opponent if anything. They're also nicely lined up rather than in a, you know, rather than in a line around the lurker. They're really in one line so that the lurker shot can just hit them the entire time, which is obviously not great. You have some healing coming in as well. Lurker's gonna get shot. Poof. Ling Hydra run by. Okay, at this point the game is fairly over. So this is the... You remember when I described the romantic comedy? I'm not sure if this is the first part where things are bad for the protagonist. You know, because usually in romantic comedy the protagonist is a bit of a loser initially. You know, it's a girl with braces, or imagine glasses. Probably likes to read. If it's a romantic comedy about a girl, the girl probably likes to read. It's like a semi-intellectual, you know? Reading and glasses. Glasses make you an intellectual, obviously. I think that is this phase here. It doesn't have a lot of friends in high school, doesn't like her job, there's no future there. And maybe now we're about to get our first, you know, our first going up for a protagonist. You know, maybe we get that promotion even after, or we meet the man of our dreams, who doesn't wear glasses. It's our Prince Charming on the white horse. I'm not sure if you say that in English as well. The prince on the white horse. We say that in Dutch. It's basically Prince Charming. Either way, we're in the gutter right now. Okay, we're rebuilding. You know, getting a nexus up. This is all good. 13 more drones. Do we have Seismic Spine chat? No, not quite. We do have melee level 1 attacks. 5 more lurkers. Is there 3 evos? Did I see that? No, 2 evos. Random macro hatch. Another random macro hatch. These hatches, by the way, aren't in the control group of the Zerg player. You can see that because... Actually, I'm not sure if that's true. He might just be injecting a lot. I actually think they're not in the control group. Doesn't seem to be using these at all. So these hatcheries are going to be completely pointless. I love the Spore Wall, except it didn't quite work in time. Now Guitar King is trying to take some initiative out on the map, which technically should be impossible. What he should be doing is getting Storm, so he can deal with Hydras, and Immortal, so he can deal with Lurker. You could also get Disruptors to deal with it, but as Hive is out, Vipers could be around the corner. I'm not sure how common Viper usage is at this level. Like, are people using Vipers? Are they good at them? I don't know. I don't think so, but I also don't really know. Upgrade-wise, by the way, this is really nice for Guitar King. +3 versus just +1. But because his army is so balls, I don't think it's gonna matter. He also still doesn't have Storm, so this Templar is just here for banter, I guess. Throwing water balloons at these units. Triple Zealot run by, actually doing good damage as well. Worker count is fairly close. Income in favor of Guitar King as he takes out another base. 16 drones now on the way. This game is still absolutely over, like 100% over. Dyne 2 is so far ahead that at any point that Dyne 2 wants, Dyne 2 can move across the map and win. Just by moving across the map. That's all you really need to do. Just move and you win. And that's exactly what he's doing. He does move command here a little bit. Loses way more Hydras than he thought he was going to. But clears every single Archon. Salads do come in. Ooh, this is an unfortunate time. Maybe this wasn't as brilliant as I thought it was. Do these roaches have speed? No, they don't. They looked slow as crap. Holy cow. Seismic Spines now starts. And Burrow as well on the way. Not sure what that is for, but I love it. Zealot run-bys everywhere. These are some truly epic Zealot run-bys here. Taking out the top left side base. Going in towards the main as well. What is this? Nothing of interest. 51 workers to 63. With Guitar King saving enough for the potential carrier transition. Or maybe he's trying to take something into the afterlife. I'm not so sure. This is what they used to do back in the day. You know, they used to put food and jewels, you know, in the tombs of the kings, stuff like that. That's what Guitar King is doing as well. I mean, he is a king after all. Probably has his guitar with him, a nice strap. Puts it in his tomb as well, and then together with all of his minerals and his gas. Unbelievable. So technically, the game here, he's winning very hard. Okay, so life right now for our protagonist is going well. They're going on a couple of dates and found a new job that she likes at a non-profit soap business, which also produces green soap, which is, what you call it? You can reuse it. Reusable green soap. That's what she works at, but a non-profit organization. Yet she gets paid a lot and can now live in a villa with Prince Charming. That's the part we're at right now in the romantic comedy. I do like that Guitar King always has Zealots just running around. That is a pretty cool move. And it seems to work out as well. You just Zealots being sent to all sides of the map. Very cool. Robotics facility here on the way as well. Oracle now on the way. Shield, +2 armor. So far Guitar King hasn't really been impressing me in the fight. But let's see if he can change that. This is a nice one-sided engagement, which you just ran into the Lurkers. These Lurkers probably should have just sat and not... maybe it's good to move back, actually. Yeah, once again, this was a terrible fight for Guitar King. Guitar King really has perfected the art of making 10 good moves and then ruining everything he did well in the upcoming fight. As he legitimately loses every single fight. Did he blink forward again? Yeah, he did, didn't he? Boom. As fast as we can into the Lurker. Just gonna clean it up eventually. 44 to 57. 4 base versus 4. Income still in favor of Guitar King. Guitar King still with a bank as well. Although it's a little bit less. If he were to die right now, his tomb would be less richly decorated with minerals and gas. Much, much better upgrades though. Like, look at that. +3, +1 against just a +1 upgrade. Just now we're gonna get the +2 attack. We're getting the roach speed as well. Do we even have any roach? We have 14 roach, so roach speed perhaps not a luxury at all. Gonna get a run-by, a roach run-by. Ooh, I had once that a roach run-by happened to me when I was in Valencia. I don't think I'd ever seen roaches up in the wild, and in Valencia there were a lot of roaches. I think they like warmer climates though, so we shouldn't blame the city. You know, it's like, oh, maybe it's just dirt on the streets, and that might have been the case, but I can't remember Valencia being particularly dirty. I just remember there were roaches there. I'd never seen that before. Just like roaming around and stuff. It's really crazy. Cockroaches. Like not, obviously, Zerg roaches. That'd be weird because they're a fictional unit. Hydra's here, pre-splitting. Just in case Guitar King realizes that he needs to micro his army. Not Guitar King so far. Just losing that 5th base. Still outmining his opponent though. Actually managed this. Oh my good lord. That was a good storm. I feel like the secret ingredient though that Dainzu kind of is missing at this point is the Lurker. Like if he had Lurkers here, I'm not saying that would necessarily be good, but his opponent continues to blink into Lurker position, so it might just be good. Like I'm not sure that in a regular, no, actually even in a regular game, I would recommend getting a couple of Lurkers now because it definitely adds something. It's not like you have anything else that you can build. You can just, oh my god, it's getting 10 Lurkers. That is a very good call. Ling run by without Adrenal Gland so far. It's going to try and send it towards the far left side, which I think is a good move. Overseer as well, scouting this bottom side right now. As the game is truly starting to kick off a little bit. Lurkers. Okay. You know what I really like about this level, actually? Is that both of these players, they're trying really hard to split their army and getting things done with run-bys and controlling the map. Like, you can see so many good ideas. Not always with the best execution, but it is really nice to watch. I do like this. I really do like this. This feels good. You have adaptive talents here coming in as well. Yeah, this is not bad. Zealot's coming. I'd love to see just 1 or 2 Lurkers here defensively. Or like a Lurker and 2 Spines. I think it would be such a huge benefit here. The only way that Dine 2 has been losing so far is just by random unit run-bys. Not a huge fan of the Stalker run-by generally. I much prefer Zealots because they're faster, they're cheaper. They can deal a lot of damage in a very low amount of time. But at the same time, we have a Ling run-by here. Both players losing a little bit. Guess it is Dine 2 that is definitely losing more. Takes his 5th base with these drones. Hasn't really rebuilt a lot of workers in recent times. Is continuing to upgrade. So is Guitar King though. Both players heading up into those upgrade numbers. Good control on these Stalkers. Snipes 1 Lurkers. Gonna snipe a Hydra. Now blinks away. Winning a lot of time and actually opening up an opportunity to attack towards the far left. But that is not happening. Instead, Guitar King is going to go back. He smells an opportunity for another god-awful fight, and he doesn't want to let it go to waste. Nice blink forward to maximize the damage of the Lurkers. Perhaps, though, with the help of the super battery here, this is going to be enough. Is there even an observer here? No, not just now it's coming in. He blinked into 6 Lurkers without vision. I freaking love this game. Yep, there we go. Guitar King loses the fight despite being up 5 upgrades. Is that correct? Yeah, no, 4 upgrades. He's just going to sit back for a bit. Dine 2 also decides to move back. Guitar King should be outmining his opponent as he has more workers and the same amount of bases. Yeah, it's just sending a couple of workers around. Some slight oversaturation on these 4 mineral patches with 20 workers. You hate to see it. On the other hand, Dine 2 undersaturation, but that's not because he has oversaturation anywhere. It just doesn't have any drones. Dine 2 is dirt poor. It's going to warp in 5 more Lurkers, go back up to 9. Play a little bit of music. Love to see it. That definitely increases the entertainment value here. As another Zealot run by. I hope he waits with this Zealot run by until something happens. So now, this is when you send it. Now is the time we go. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Absolutely beautiful play here out of Guitar King. At the same time, Dine 2 moving forward. Lurkers behind a wall of stasis unit means they are safe. Also means they can't hit further forward though. These Zealots against the Hydras. It's going to be a pretty one-sided fight in favor of the Zealots. I'm not sure what this is, but Dine 2 is trying to move back as Guitar King takes a significant supply lead here with 131 versus 80. And I think this might have been the climax of the movie here, ladies and gentlemen, as it is definitely, it feels like we're slowly but surely coming to an end with Guitar King moving forward, hatcheries being sniped, 5 base versus half a mining base, 56 workers versus 8, as we get a recall. And another Zealot round by, so he's seen that there's nothing left here right now. Now, the only way that Guitar King can truly make this an epic game is by move commanding through these 9 Lurkers or 8 Lurkers that are still here. Trying to lose, then maybe make it a low eco game. He is completely out of position as he recalled to the 20 worker base. Like, oh, there's a lot of workers there. That's probably a good base to teleport to. Not necessarily wrong. Army supply is 57 to 73. Technically, it is still possible for Guitar King to lose because he isn't mining a whole lot, because he only has 4 patches he can mine from. So this base was actually somewhat important. In a way, the income is probably going to be very similar. It's actually going to be higher mineral-wise for Dine 2, isn't it? Unless we get some long-distance mining, I guess. Because this is some crappy mining here for sure. Lurkers are being pushed back though. 57 supply to 63 army supply. Guitar King starts taking a very bad fight. Decides that this is not the time. And moves back. Long distance mining is helping out. There's 0 gas income here for Dine 2. As we're nearing the... surely one of the final fights. Just purely based on the fact that none of these units can really be reproduced at this point. Oh, Dine 2 moving forward. He's going aggressive. There's a lot of storms here, though. He's not going to move to the top of the ramp. Guitar King is going to allow him to move to the top of the ramp and is then going to walk up this ramp. Is that true? Please don't let that be true. It's an intelligent approach here to this fight. Oh, here comes the Zealot flank. Well, Zealot flank has been taken out. Not a great flank, because there was nothing happening at the same time. He's actually going to walk up this ramp. No, he's not. No, he is. Yes, he is. No observer here is going to lose his entire army. That is 4 Immortals and 2 Templar that he just lost for free. There are 700 minerals in the bank. Storms are raining down on top of these Hydras. I still think it's going to be good enough for Guitar King. Ooh, there was a bit of venom in the tail there. That was scary. But Guitar King does manage to take it. Whew, unbelievable. We really thought that this was going to be close there in the end, but as every epic game, just like with every romantic comedy, you know that the outcome is going to be positive. I really wish that at some point in a romantic comedy, you know, something gets marketed as a romantic comedy, is like Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, and people are really, you know, they're setting up for something sick, and then in like one of the final shots, the girl just gets shot or something. You know, and then the final shot is the funeral. That's it. Life was not worth living anymore without her. And then the credits roll. And you have the entire cinema just going, what the hell was this? Like a bunch of like 11-year-old girls cry, like, this is what love is? This is awful. Yeah. And that's the end of this game. And I, of course, have a lot to say about it. I thought it was mediocrely entertaining. The problem often is that people, when they think of a game, they think of all the emotions that they went through. So Guitar King in this game was like, I'm winning, I'm losing, I'm winning, I'm losing. But for us, this game, it was very clear, first of all, from the very start that Guitar King was winning because he submitted this game. Second of all, it was very clear because of the upgrades. And then I think 7 or 8 minutes ago, he also just has more money. So I found it reasonably entertaining. On the question on whether my audience has any clue about what is entertaining, I'd say, yeah, I'd give this, if this were a romantic comedy, I'd give it a 2.5 stars on a 5-star scale. So is that a 5 out of 10? Yeah, 5 out of 10. It's not bad at all. Congratulations, Guitar King. You entertained all of us. If you thought that this was very entertaining, be sure to leave it down in the comments. If you thought it sucked, also leave it down in the comments. And then put the thumbs up on the comment that you liked the most. Yeah, you thought it was very good. You want more of the mail, more letters, more audience send in content. Be sure to let me know down in the comments below. All right, that will be it for today. Thanks and bye-bye.